And welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by ReviewMyMortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs in the nation. And I've got some exciting news to announce as we go through this episode, but it's been about 2 months, guys. As I tell you all the time, this is cheaper than therapy, so I've been spending a lot for the therapist. I'm kidding. But today's discussion, I've got a buddy of mine that I've been looking forward to getting to know even better. Looking forward to him sharing his journey with you guys. And, you know, without further ado, let me just introduce Rory Rogers. Rory, how you doing?
Doing good, Mark. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Pull that mic closer to you just a little bit. And at the beginning of these discussions, this is the time where you tell us just a little bit about yourself. Most people on this platform maybe don't know who you are. I know you're a badass. You've been through quite a bit and are a top producing realtor in San Antonio, broker as well.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So tell us about yourself. Start from the beginning, where you come from.
Sounds good. So I'll take it back to the early 2000s when I bought my first house in 2005.
Okay.
And that was a big experience for me. And that's kind of where my origins in real estate really started. My first transaction was $44,000.
Okay.
A house I bought for $44,000. In today's market, it would probably be worth about $300,000. And I learned so many lessons from that, and that gave me that gave me the ability to make decisions and brought opportunities in my life that no other decisions have brought. So I am like a true believer in real estate. Like, real estate has transformed my life, and that was the origins right there.
That's awesome. Yeah. And very similar in that regard. I don't have a college degree. I went all the way 4 years and went, this is just not for me. I'm wasting time and effort when I could be making money. And at the time I was making money. So it was choose one or the other. But I didn't jump into real estate until another 10 years later. And like you said, it opened my eyes to opportunity, to all of the, I guess, things that you see that successful people are doing, but you don't know it's actually possible, you as the layman, until you buy that $40,000 property and you go, oh, okay, this is easy.
Correct.
Enough. Easy enough, I should say.
So I bought the house. I paid it off within 2 years.
Okay.
I was working really hard at the time, working overtime. I had a roommate. Yeah. My roommate was paying the mortgage and the bills at the house with what I was charging him.
Smart.
And in 2009, I had some life-changing events.
Okay.
And I decided to sell that house, which was paid off. And I used that money to start my first business.
Okay.
And since 2009, I've been self-employed.
Boom. I like that. Self-employed. That's a whole nother discussion in itself, and I'm going to bring it back to that because there's been a lot of chatter on the internet about self-employed people, and they've got lucky or this and that, and chances are we did get lucky at some point in time, but it was putting ourselves in the right position to accept that luck, or so they call it. But going back to you and your beginnings, did you grow up in San Antonio? Where'd you grow up?
Born in a small town called Alice, Texas.
Alice, Texas. I have relatives in Alice.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. They own a couple of, several acres, bunch of horses. Yeah.
Okay.
The Delgados. He owns a boxing gym down there.
Don't know them.
Okay.
Don't know them. Yeah. So I left there in 1985.
Okay. That's awesome. I was born and I was
very young in 1985.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So then I grew up here in San Antonio, and I go visit back. I have a ranch in Freer.
Okay.
We like to shoot guns and things like that.
And we'll get into that.
Sure. I need to take you out there and do some shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I guess your family brought you to San Antonio, and before you got into real estate, before you became self-employed, what were you doing? What kind of jobs did you get into?
Okay. So I graduated from UT Austin in 2002. And then I moved back to San Antonio.
So now JC's a big fan.
Okay, yeah.
Big fan.
Texas. UT?
Fine. Oh, yeah.
Nice. So I graduated from UT in 2002. And then I joined SAPD in that same year, 2002.
Really?
Yeah.
And that is intriguing. I've had a police officer on the show before. who essentially was a police officer, got tired of making what he was making, giving all the effort. So he started a side business, cutting lawns that grew and grew and grew, still was able to maintain the police officer role, but eventually started making more money over here. What made you decide to do that?
I was young.
Okay.
I didn't have a job. It was a tough economy in 2002.
Yeah.
And it was a good paying job at the time. And I wanted to be back in San Antonio.
2002. So that puts me at a junior in high school. What areas did you survey?
Worked West Patrol for about 5 years.
Not like Northwest Patrol, Helotes area.
No, well, Culebra 1604, Culebra 410.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
kind of stomping grounds.
Yeah. Culebra 410.
I avoided him. That's awesome.
And I was young though. I was 21. I was 21, right? And
so we would have hit it off and been super cool, guaranteed.
Yeah. And then I went to work downtown bike patrol unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked bike patrol for a few years.
So when you were in law enforcement, there's not too many folks out there that are like, well, I'm protecting these streets. Let me go and open a business. Let me go and it just doesn't happen quite often. So what inspired you? What induced you to, number one, buy real estate being that young, and two, shift into the industry, this wild world of real estate?
Okay. So I bought that first house in 2005.
Okay.
And this is pre-2008 market.
Yeah.
So real estate's going vertical in pricing.
For sure.
It didn't matter what you bought, where you bought it, what price range, the price was going vertical. I had bought a 2005 Corvette.
Ooh.
No, 2006 Corvette.
Okay.
I bought a brand new 2006 Corvette.
Hopefully it wasn't red.
No, it wasn't.
He's like, no, I'm a police officer. I know. It's awesome.
And I sold it 6 months later.
Okay.
Because I was looking at it and I'm like, this is going down in value and real estate's going up in value. And I had it paid off.
Okay.
So I took it to a dealership off of I-10 and they wrote a check to Red McCombs.
Okay.
So I took the check to Red McCombs and I got a Tacoma from Red McCombs and cash back.
Sure.
So I got a truck and cash back, and I took the cash back and I bought more real estate.
Boom.
Yeah. So that was how it went from one to multiple homes.
So you started law enforcement at 21, couple years later, you're now probably 24, 25, making a decision that not only most people at that age, but most people in general could not do. The level of discipline, maybe you knew it, maybe you didn't at the time, but making that decision in the shift to not have the shiny object and work on something that people can't really touch, feel, have yet until you start realizing equity and all those things.
So I'll touch on that, right? Because these were all like turning points in my life.
Sure.
These were all like big decisions. And I remember when I was buying my second, then going into my third house, my dad saying, be careful, te estás metiendo muy hondo.
Right.
Do you know?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So translated into English, that means you're getting in too deep.
Yep.
Like you don't know what you're doing.
You're over your head.
You're over your head. Be careful. Use caution. Blah blah blah. Which I call that a very
Scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
my dad was the same way.
A very disempowering belief system.
Very go to school, make good grades, get a good job, live a good life, retire mindset.
When instinctively, my decisions, my choices, my intuition was, I can't go wrong. I like this is like, I see the vision, I see the plan, I see what's happening, but yet the people I know, trust, love,
absolutely,
who should be giving me good advice, are telling me in a very subconsciously in a subconsciously impactful way by giving you metaphors.
Yeah.
Right. So a metaphor hits differently than just saying, hey, use caution. That you look at your numbers and analyze what you're doing, versus speaking in metaphors, which is you're getting in too deep, implying that you can drown, implying like a
Correct.
very painful, impactful death.
Yeah, it brings emotion into the equation.
So with the metaphor, it's more emotional, it's more impactful, and it's more disempowering, right?
Sure.
So something as simple as "te estás metiendo muy hondo,"
Right.
can have a very profound impact, right?
Oh, heavy. Yeah.
And sure enough, 2008's around the corner, right? And the real estate market starts to slip, right? And here I am, young, sitting on 3 houses, and what everybody was trying to caution me about is now happening.
It's happening.
It's happening, right?
Oh man.
But I remember this one house. I still have it to this day, and it's in the Northwest Grissom and Culebra area.
Okay.
And I bought it off a buddy of mine, which is another great story. But I'll get to that in a second. So I buy this house, and I don't know, must have been 2007-ish. Yeah, it was May 2007. And my intention was to do a flip on it.
Okay.
So I bought it, I rehabbed it, and I put it back on the market. And in doing so, the market starts to slip. And we didn't get what I wanted to sell it for.
Right.
And we kept doing price adjustments on it. And there was a point where I remember telling myself, if we get any offer, I'm taking it. Like even at a loss. Like I was overwhelmed.
Time to unload.
Yeah.
Fire sale.
And my emotions were high and scarcity mindset. Right. So for lack of other options, I ended up renting the house.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful to this day that I didn't sell it, that I didn't accept an offer.
Yeah.
Exactly. That those lowball offers didn't come in, and I didn't accept it, because it has turned into probably one of my best investments to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And just like I was saying a bit ago, in regards to folks being self-employed entrepreneurs, we take risks. They don't always pan out. They're not always something tangible, but the one thing in the equation is that little bit of luck. And is it luck or is it destiny? Who knows? But something didn't allow you to take that lowball offer, didn't allow you to just fire sell it. And you went with, I'm just going to rent it out, see what happens. And luckily,
so the lesson that came from it, right? And what came like really empowering from it was, I remember renting a house, and I'll say it was $1,000 rent I was getting off it, right? And I was cash flowing maybe 10%.
Okay.
Well, then as the market started to go down, my taxes started to come down.
Yeah.
So my mortgage got readjusted, and I was paying less on taxes. So then instead of having a $900 payment, I started to have an $800 payment, which then means instead of cash flowing 10%, now I'm cash flowing 20%. So I had a 100% increase in my profit margin, right? So to this day, I still carry that with me. And that's why last year I had the mindset where even if the market crashes, even if the market dips, I don't care.
Right.
I'm not going to sell in the short term. And as long as I hold on to it long enough, I'm going to win. And even if it crashes, I win.
Right.
If the market goes up, I win. If the market stays the way it is, I win. It doesn't matter which way the market goes. I'm going to win. I'm all in.
And I'm going to give you more credit than you're giving yourself in that regard, because it wasn't that you didn't care. It was that you had already realized that if I buy real estate and hold it, I'm good. In time, it's going to earn its value. It's going to recoup from its ebbs and flows, etc. Why is that the case? Because history tells us that. We can always take a snapshot back. Matter of fact, JC, if you want to throw that reference up real quick, just to show this as a visual. Not that, but thank you guys for subscribing. We're up to 23,600, and we probably need to put another video out there pretty quickly. Let's see here. We've got historic home values for Texas. Boom. There should be like a map. AI mode. No. Come on. Everything is AI. Okay. So if we pull this guy up here, Let's see if it'll let me. Oop. Yep. Okay, so let's bring it back down. See if it'll let me click on it. There we go. Okay, so what we're talking about here is this chart. Oh my goodness. Can I get some? Wow. Okay, me and technology this morning, y'all. Let's do this. Let's cheat the system. Take that, system. We got it. Okay, so what I'm discussing here is this one only goes back to 1992, but if you go all the way back to 1970, I think it's 3, something like that, when they started tracking this information, you'll see that, yes, we have had a, let's call it a downfall in real estate being in Texas, but it was a short period of time from 2008, which that's what you're talking about, which really didn't hit until 2009. And then lo and behold, we started trucking right back up. So my point that I'm making here, and you can kill that, JC, is, who was it? Warren Buffett said it. Don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and then wait.
Yeah.
And that is literally the lesson that you lived and are now able to tell people and encourage your clients and everybody else.
So speaking of that, the only time I don't recommend buying real estate is if you're going to be in a property short term. Right.
Agree.
If you're going to be in a property less than a year, you're going to be in San Antonio, you're graduating from college and you're going to get out of town.
Correct.
You're going to, do something and bail out of town. That's one of the very few situations that I recommend renting.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm a buyer.
That's literally what I wrote a customer yesterday. Yeah. She said, should I rent for one more year? And I said, the only time I ever recommend somebody to rent is if they are leaving the state within the next year. Yeah. And even in those cases, let's do the math, because at the end of the day, hey, if you can hire a management company at 10, 20% and you're still breaking even, somebody's filling your piggy bank for you.
So that leads to the next thing, which is, what is that individual's mindset? What are their goals, right? If they don't mind hiring a management company to manage it, if they're not going to get overwhelmed with maintenance calls, if they have the persona, the personality, the mindset that fits the entrepreneur mindset to be able to be a landlord, then by all means that fits them. But if it's somebody who is high stress, somebody who doesn't like responsibility, somebody who wants a very chill lifestyle,
may not be for you.
It may not be for you.
And it's not for everyone. Yeah. Even the concept of being an entrepreneur, self-employed, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean if you have a dream, if you've got something that's just burning inside you that you need to do it, because you can and I say this quite often, but it makes sense in the instances where I use it, because I give people advice when they ask. And they'll say, I've got this idea, or I've got this business, and I ask them first, what are you currently doing? Oh, well, I'm working at USAA, or I'm working here, or I'm working there. Let me ask you this. A year from now, 2 years from now, could you go back to that job? Like, would they take you back? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then what the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you 2 years from now, when that opportunity passes you, you may regret it for the rest of your life, not just 2 years.
So something I always say is, opportunities have a lifetime, and you got to take advantage of the opportunities within the lifetime of the opportunity.
Ooh. Yeah. Can you say that one more time? That's strong. I've never heard that. That's very strong.
No?
Okay, never.
So opportunities have a lifetime.
Yep.
And you have to take advantage of the opportunity within the lifetime of that opportunity.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Guys, put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So at what point did you dive into real estate? Because we're not going to fast track, but we're going to get all the way to the point to where you're now a broker, and we know that you don't just flip a switch and now you're a broker. So what was that transition like from police officer? And did you go from police officer to realtor directly?
So no, I sold my house. Okay. I ventured off in a couple of different businesses.
Sure.
And then I was at a point in my life where I said, I really need to figure out what's the long game.
Okay.
And I reflected and I said, okay, what's been the most impactful thing in my life, and it was real estate.
Okay.
It was what gave me the opportunities to open businesses. It gave me the opportunities to leave careers. It gave me a very strong foundation. And that's when I said, I thought to myself, well, I know it. Like, I instinctively know real estate. I know how to generate income and money off of buying and selling real estate.
Right.
And I had dealt with a handful of realtors, and I'm like, I can service my clients better.
I can do that. That's right. I can do that.
I can do that maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit
awesome.
better. Yeah.
That's awesome. And we hear that quite often too, the experiences that we've personally had and going, wait a minute, you made how much?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. And initially when we get into it, matter of fact, I'll stop there. Initially, when you got into it, was it what you imagined it would be, or was it a little bit tougher than you had anticipated?
To this day, I still struggle with, am I in sales or am I in service?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I've had a perception of salesmen being grimy and being pushy and being after their interest versus their clients.
Absolutely.
Right. But
at least the perception, for sure.
yeah, correct. Or the perception from the consumer.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
And instinctively, when we come across as being too salesy, the consumer puts up their guard and throws you in that telemarketer bracket.
That's right.
Right. And in my mind, as long as I am coming from a service perspective and I'm watching out for my client's best interest, then it makes it a lot easier for me to have those talks and communications and advise my clients.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And when you first, so what year did you jump into real estate?
As a real estate agent, probably about 2012.
Okay, same year as me.
Yeah.
Yeah. January, February, March.
So we're the same age.
Yeah. But you're better looking, brother. You got it going on. And we're going to talk about the health stuff a little later in this discussion. So stay tuned, guys. The idea of you getting in 2012, it was a great market in 2012. We had rates that were pretty low. Everybody was at least optimistic about buying homes. And as a matter of fact, I was using social media, one of the first to use social media to advertise and to post the closing pictures and stuff like that when nobody was doing it. But I'm not going to say I was the trendsetter in that, but
you were the trendsetter.
but the idea was it was starting to catch and become a cool thing to own real estate. Yeah. Then you had $1 million listings coming out. Then you had all these shows, reality TV, that made real estate sexy right around that time. And for somebody getting into the business, they're thinking it's all peachy. For you, was the first couple of years pretty tough, given that you had already practiced real estate as a entrepreneur, now shifting over to, this is my gig, this is my career?
Yeah. So the first couple of years were very hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting the clientele, getting the referrals, and just building the network, right?
Yeah.
Knowing which photographers, which title companies, which lenders, and just having that solid network. I was kind of grinning to myself the other day because the transaction is getting super difficult. I'm able to call photographers and they're like, I can squeeze you in, I can do this, but in industry favors at this point,
sure,
right? Because I've helped out so many people.
Of course.
I'm a big referral partner for certain industry people. So if I ask favors, that they help
I think
me
they
out.
call it metida la esquina in Spanish. You watch my back, I got yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, what was it like? Your first couple of years, typically we focus on our sphere of influence. That's what they tell you in the schools when you're going through, make sure to get your uncle's, brother's, sister's, aunt's business.
Yeah.
For me, I have a very, almost religious statement that I live by, which is if we only did business with our friends, we'd all be broke. And the reason for that essentially is business and personal life, sometimes stuff goes wrong in business that is normal in our industry that the consumer, your friend, the layman, not knowing all that it takes on this side, can get offended, upset, etc. Now there went your friendship. Then you have the alternatives of, well, I'm seeing him be successful, I'm going to go over here. Or it doesn't matter about his success. I don't want him seeing my financial stuff, or I don't want him being involved in that because we're friends.
So my response to that is,
if you're still sending out pre-approval letters and praying your realtor send you the next lead, you're already behind.
Top producers are winning because they're giving their agents more than just rate sheets and donuts. They're giving them Loanbot. With Loanbot, you can offer realtors a white-labeled, co-branded digital mortgage tool that they send straight to their buyers. It's like giving them a mini loan officer in their pocket. Available 24/7, fully loaded, and branded with your name and their trust. Buyers can self-diagnose, compare loan programs, check real numbers, search properties, and explore down payment assistance without blowing you up at 10 p.m. And the best part? You see everything, every scenario, every lead, every milestone. You're looped in the whole way. Loanbot isn't a widget. It's the referral machine you've been waiting for. Here's the deal. Your realtors can get it from us directly for $9.99 a month. But it'd be in your best interest if they got it from you. Either way, they're going to get it. White labeled, co-branded, transparent, and more.
Sign up for your demo with our team of innovators.
we are in an industry that's constantly pivoting.
Yeah.
And what may have worked at one point may not work today or in the future, or may come back full circle.
Amen.
And I've been very blessed that my sphere and some limited marketing has been very effective for my career. And then I've built my past clients into future clients and into referral partners and things like that. And referrals
Sure.
is my business to this day.
Yeah.
Which organically is it's a lot of squeeze for the, it's a lot of juice for the squeeze.
Sure.
Right.
1000%. Yeah.
Yeah. And we know that the conversion rate on referrals is going to be substantially higher than the conversion rate on online leads.
That's right.
You know, or cold calling or all these other things that people do to generate business.
Absolutely.
So I've been able to build my business around a business style that's very comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I like. I don't like cold calling, right? I don't like door knocking.
Right.
I like having genuine relationships with people that know that I watch their back. If I say something, it's because it's credible.
Right.
And if I don't know it, I mean, we find the lenders, we find the
right.
title companies, and we get to the bottom of it.
And I love that you said, if I don't know it, I'll get the answers, basically is what you're saying, instead of just telling you.
Absolutely.
Because still to this day, I would consider myself a very well-versed mortgage professional, guidelines to all the shit that has hit the fan in the past that we've had to scrape off the ceiling and fix and still get it to the closing table or not. But there is a ton to be learned, and there's no way to know it all the time.
And it's constantly changing.
Constant. The one thing that's constant in our industry is change.
And just because it worked yesterday doesn't mean it's going to work today.
Right.
And I've had people say, I don't know how you bought X amount of houses because after, this or this, that's illegal or that's, I'm like, no, it's not. I just, just change different programs, or I do this or I do that,
more you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'm at a different level.
That's right.
I know certain things that you don't know because you've never been down the road I've been. Yeah.
That's factual statement. And and it's very difficult at times with that statement to articulate that to someone that is trying to give you this advice or give you, matter of fact, more times than not, it's somebody that's trying to figure out how you did it, but themselves, like you said, haven't been through it. So they can't fathom outside of what they know currently.
And that's why we're doing this.
That's right.
Right. Because you have a hunger to get to another level.
Absolutely.
And the same thing, I caught myself talking to a client the other day and I said, I told this client the same thing 3 years ago. I'm like,
Wow.
I need to grow.
Wow.
It's time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. At least you recognized it.
Yeah,
They didn't. Good thing.
maybe. I don't know.
I guarantee they did it.
I think I called myself out.
That's awesome. Well, see, and you're able to do that with the experience that you have.
Yeah.
Where many may not have. They might have fumbled it up, and who knows. Now, as you were going through your real estate career, year one, I mean, shoot, you've been in literally the same amount of time as I have. We really haven't gone through crashes, so to speak. We've gone through ebbs and flows of interest rates going up and down. This past couple of years have been pretty difficult, not impossible. But going through your career in real estate, what were some of the challenges that you went through?
Challenges.
I mean, pretty broad question, so you can bring it any which way you want, and I'll roll with it.
Okay. Well, I'll just be transparent with you.
Please.
The biggest bomb dropped on me
Okay.
was divorce.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And when you say divorce, I know that is that word in itself brings a lot of emotion. It brings a lot of animosity sometimes, and sometimes it brings a lot of relief. Let's be honest.
Brings a lot of happiness.
Right? Happiness and joy. A matter of fact, that's one of the things that I joke with customers, and they'll say, "No, I'm divorced," because we have to ask.
Yeah.
Marital status. Oh, I'm divorced. Happily divorced. And they always chuckle. Why? I don't know, but it's just something that we can kind of level with as human beings. We know that it probably was difficult more times than not, and it's time to just laugh about it.
So with divorce, right?
Yeah,
We had to fight over the business, or we had to negotiate
Sure.
over ownership of businesses, plural,
sure.
right? Properties, plural. Children,
Yep.
twins, plural. So there was many things that had to get negotiated and settled upon, and it was a major disruptor. Like it was costly and emotionally draining.
Yeah,
Financially
For sure.
expensive, and negotiating over the real estate as well was a big part of it.
yeah,
And so many lessons learned there. And that was why as well, another lesson in real estate is if I can still come out ahead after taking a 50% hit on my real estate, I'm all in moving forward after this.
that makes good sense. I mean, that is, a matter of fact, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about analogies and the concept of utilizing that for impact.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy right there to, and I don't know if it's something that the listeners out there can imagine what you went through for that and understand what you just said. The idea and concept of I've invested in real estate, doing great. So I continued to invest in real estate and then got hit upside the head with a divorce that we're in Texas, 50-50, baby.
Yeah.
Boom, that's gone. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to buy some more real estate.
Oh yeah. No, because it's better to have something to split than have nothing to split.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Right?
That's a very good point.
And I always try to change the narrative to something positive.
Right.
Right. I don't have to. I get to.
Right.
Right. And it's a blessing that there was assets.
Right.
That there were things of value that had to get negotiated.
Sure.
Versus other people I know, they get divorced and they go, "Oh, it's simple. There's
nothing.
There's nothing. There's nothing to fight about." So
she kept the car. I still have to pay for it. It's on my credit.
Yeah.
We've seen it so many times. Yeah.
So I always say my problems are other people's dreams. All right. So I had this big problem. We had to negotiate this real estate and the divorce, but my problems are other people's dreams in reality.
Wow. That's a great mindset on having gone through something like that. And with that being said, on the divorce, how did that additionally impact your career? Because were you already in real estate when this took place?
Yeah, so
Not the buying side, but practicing side.
I was in the practicing side, and I was at the peak of my career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at the peak of my career. I was at 50 transactions a year.
Wow.
I had a good team. I had an office 1604. I was on a growing phase of the business, and then here comes divorce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, came out the other side looking all right.
Yeah. So and you asked, like, so what was the biggest challenge?
Sure.
And that was a big challenge in maintaining the business
For sure.
and then getting through it, and then now in a difficult market with interest rates what they are, getting back in the feed and rebuilding.
That's right. Rebuilding. And we've had that as a topic on this show many times, is the idea of rebuilding. What in you, what is it, innate? Is it passion? Is it advice? What was it in you that said, you know what, it is time to rebuild instead of packing it up and shifting gears or slowing down, or just continuing to maintain after you had already maintained it going through that, if that makes sense?
That's a great question, right? And it's like, I know people that have kids and they're like, man, I just wish she wanted to do more.
Right.
Like, I wish that my kid wanted to go to college. I wish my kid wanted to work out.
Right.
How to make somebody want something, I don't know the answer to that.
Man, I was going to ask.
Right. So
how do you make somebody want to do it? It's what is that movie? The Breakup. Nobody wants to do the dishes.
Yeah, exactly. So why do I want to continue to grow? I don't know.
So it is something innate.
Yeah. Or for me, at least, or something I don't have an answer for.
Right. I mean, you've got a college degree, so that's always in the back of your mind. I can fall back on.
So yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, yes and no. I will say that more important than a college degree is the mindset of continuing to learn every day.
Amen to that.
Because I know people that at one point were very educated and they have stopped learning.
Yeah.
And
they signed up for an echo chamber.
Yeah, and their education is obsolete.
That's right.
Like, if you have a degree from 1995, and you think you're still relevant today, everything you learned then, for the most part, it's not going to keep you on the cutting edge today.
Well, that I'm going to take it even a step further because I love this topic. Not only did that what you learned stop, but also, as we evolve as humans, our technology, the way of life, our trends, the way we learn changes as well.
Correct.
So if you're trying to implement 1995's learning habits in 2025's environment, you're going to have some difficult times.
Correct.
And the idea of learning every day, it's totally possible.
It is.
I'm an example.
Yeah. So like, I never look back and say, well, I have a college degree. Like, I don't care. That was 20 plus years ago.
Touche.
You know? So unless I've been learning for the past 25 years, that's what makes a difference. That's what makes me relevant today. And mortgage. Imagine if I'm talking mortgage from 2002. It's a complete different world.
Oh, totally different.
All the disclosures are different. Interest rates, programs, everything is different. So I can't say I have a degree. Nobody cares. Like, that was so long ago.
That's right.
And unless you've continued to learn and you're up to speed, that's what the degree resembles to me, is I have a willingness to learn. That's what it means. And unless I have that willingness to learn, I will be obsolete.
You know, I've mentioned that topic of education, college degree on many of these episodes, these discussions, and outside of this. And no one has put it in that way, in the idea of, so what, you got a college degree, are you still learning?
Yeah.
Because that is, in my opinion, now thinking about it, more important than the degree itself. But if you are, let's say, utilizing the fact that you can get through college as a mindset of, I can get through this next endeavor.
Yeah.
I totally see that.
Yeah.
Totally.
And if anything, it's a confidence challenge. And I do this with my children, right? We'll get on the bikes and we say, okay, last time we did 10 miles. Today we're doing 14. and I'm building their confidence, right? So
Right.
if heaven forbid they ever need to get on the bike and do 20 miles, they have the confidence that they can do it, right?
That's awesome.
And that's what college is, right? It's a challenge. You have your set of challenges to get through it, finances and tests and exams and finals, whatever the case is. But once you push yourself through that, then you got this confidence that you either get through college or you get through real life, right? You get through business. Do you pay your mortgages? Do you pay your taxes?
That's right. That's right.
Do you have a profit at the end of the
real
year?
world implications. That's right.
So it's another form of a confidence challenge, right? So at the end of the day, do you have a nice car? Is it paid for? Do you got money saved? Are you healthy? Or you got a healthy wife? You a happy wife? Okay, you're winning.
Right.
So you keep building your confidence and you keep building on it.
Man, that's another good way. Your perspective on some things is fascinating, and not in a weird way. It's like, I did not think about that concept right there. The idea of winning because of these things, in addition to parlaying that with what you've learned in the past. I mean, it just can continue down that road. So I applaud you for having that mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, this is rare breed right here. Rare breed.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. JC, how long we've been going? About 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
39:25, almost hitting 40.
Okay. That being said, we've gotten to learn quite a bit about you thus far. Is there anything that I'm not asking in regards to your real estate career? We've gone to what you've learned. Biggest learning experience is getting through that divorce and being able to not just maintain, but coming out of it with the mindset of, all right, how do I rebuild? Because staying here, it's just not in my DNA at the moment. Is there anything, well, let me ask, we talked about challenges. What are some successes that you've had in real estate through that journey? And you can even bring up the concept of you becoming a broker. At what point was it, you know what? I've done the real estate thing. I've been a good sales associate. I've had my fiduciary responsibilities fulfilled. I've built my referral network. I think I want to be a broker. How did that come across?
Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
Okay. But I am going to go on some lessons I've learned along the
Please
way
do.
that may be relative there.
Okay.
One of my regrets in real estate is selling properties.
Okay.
I remember the house I bought for $44,000. I sold it for $110, right? And back then I told myself, quitting while you're ahead is not the same as quitting, right?
Age old saying, yes, sir.
But I regret saying that because had I refinanced it, right? Had I refinanced it,
pulled some equity out, maybe leveraged,
pull out 80% equity, right? Now there's great loans out there,
absolutely,
right? And then what are they called?
You've got DSCRs, you've got all
DSCR.
Absolutely.
A DSCR is a loan that I've utilized recently.
I'm telling you, I've done more DSCRs in the past 6 months than I ever have in my career.
Okay, so
yes.
I feel DSCRs are trending right now.
1,000%.
Okay, and why? Because they're simple. They go up. DSCR
in
stands
addition,
for
go for it. Keep going.
debt servicing credit ratio.
Yes, sir.
Right. So as long as you pull in $2,000 a month off this property, you can give a loan for $2,000 a month on that property. As long as it's a 1-to-1 ratio for the most part.
19,999. If that makes sense, you've got to have at least $1 in profit over that DSCR ratio, but you're on the money.
Okay, but
you are on the money.
But I'll say this: the dollar is very subjective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To being able to accomplish that goal, let's say you, and I'm going to break it down for our listeners real quick. This concept of DSCR comes about when you have an investor that has already, they've got their primary, maybe they've bought investment properties to hold, maybe they haven't, but this idea is buying investment properties to hang on to that allows that buyer, whether they have maxed out their total properties that they can finance on the secondary market. Now they have to go alternative financing, or maybe they're self-employed and they write off too much. Well, the DSCR has nothing to do with your income. It is literally focused only on the rent that could be brought in or the rent that's already being brought in, which should be at least $1 over what the mortgage payment is going to be. We pull credit. We look at assets. We look at the debt service credit ratio, and that's it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned credit, right?
Yeah.
Because credit's a factor in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So credit and in income that the property produces, with those two factors, you can pretty easily cash out, refi,
Right.
and use that money to leverage and grow.
Absolutely. And another thing to add to that, another reason why I believe that the DSCRs are becoming more and more popular right now is you've got higher interest rates as an investor going into a conventional loan on the secondary market because investors are investors of the loan
Secondary
purchases,
market.
correct, are, I'm not going to say they're trying to steer investors away, but they want to give primary buyers an opportunity. So those rates are much lower when you're buying as a primary. When you go DSCR, they're almost the same kind of rates you're looking at within about a point and a half of your primary residence. That additionally, you have the whole world, or well, the whole United States right now, first-time home buyers are scared to buy real estate. We're finding that people that have owned real estate understand the concept of equity, understand the concept of somebody else paying off your mortgage is going, how do I buy more right now?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Yeah, I love it. So you're utilizing that program.
So that's how I bought
Say it.
8 houses last year.
Kaboom. I was waiting for that. I'm like, is he being modest? So in 8 houses over the last 12 months, what did that total as far as real estate value? What does your portfolio look like?
Well, I'll just say last year was an acquisition of about 3M.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just like that, a decision that he made in the preparation, because obviously you have to be prepared on the credit side, on the asset side to be able to do something like that, but also the mindset to strike while the iron is hot. Everybody else that you talk to that is listening, watching this is probably going, I don't know about buying real estate right now. I don't know what the market's going to do. Rory was like, I'll take that one.
Yeah. They're like, I'll take them all.
I'll take all of them. It's awesome.
Yeah. So like I go back to May of 2007.
Okay.
When I bought the house and the market crashed, right? So that's what everybody's fearing right now.
Absolutely.
Everybody's seeing inventory rise. Mm-hmm. They're seeing days on market rise. They're seeing interest rates rise. They're seeing affordability hit peaks, this and the other. So everybody's fear is through the roof.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I know how this ends.
I've seen this. It's a rerun.
What everybody is telling themselves, I had people telling me.
That's right.
Was that 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, I know how this book ends.
That's right.
I'm in.
How cool. And being able to, now, I applaud you for that. My wife and I did also one of our regrets. We had investment properties back in 2019. We unloaded them all. We went, okay, it's time to take that money, buy a house that we want, and let's take the rest and start flipping houses. I kicked myself in the ass because we should have held on to it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You should have done a cash
and
out
I'm the
refi.
finance guy.
You should have done a DSCR
Absolutely.
refi. You should have had somebody else pay those mortgages still, even if it's at a 1-to-1 ratio where you're not cash flowing on
You're
it.
on the money.
Right?
Yep.
But and I always say this, it's not always about the cash flow.
Correct.
Right?
God, great point. Let's talk about that.
So there's I call it the front end and the back end and the middle.
Okay.
Right. So the front end, I call it cash flow.
Yep.
Right. On the middle, I call it you're collecting $2,000 a month. You're rolling that $2,000 over a month into paying your mortgage. Mm-hmm. So that means in the middle, you're having at least some principal reduction depending on where you're at on your motorization table.
That's right.
So it's either $100 a month or $1,000 a month, whatever it is. But somehow or the other, you're using somebody else's money to put equity and on your side of the balance sheet.
That's a great point.
So front side is cash flow. The middle of the transaction is just going to be what I was talking about right there. Even on the you have principal reduction.
Correct.
Right.
Kill the P.
On the back side of the transaction, as long as you're an entrepreneur and you have some taxable deductions.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. And if you don't, contact a CPA.
Contact the CPA. I'm not going to tell you how to do your taxes.
That's right. That's right.
But, there are many creative ways to mitigate your taxes.
Absolutely.
Right? So on the front end, you do the deal right. You cash flow a little bit. On the middle, you're having some long-term equity principal reduction. On the back end, you have some tax write-offs. And historically, give it some time. As long as you hold on to it for more than a year.
Absolutely.
Ideally 20 years, ideally 30 years.
Yeah.
Ideally buy when you're in your 20s, right? And then you're going to have some great appreciation as well. And that's the cherry on top. So that's 4 different ways of building value and equity and everything else.
And to add to what you're talking about here, I had my CPA on here several episodes back, and he went into pretty good depth on how real estate is the number one way to shield yourself from paying taxes. I'm not going to get into it. If you want to listen to it, go back to that, and by all means. But there's some great tips that he provided to you listeners out there. And Rory, you're on the money.
And the only thing I can add to that is mitigate your income tax.
Yes, sir.
Not your property tax.
That's correct. Okay. That's correct.
Okay. Because I got a pretty
until we receive enough tariff money, and all of a sudden we don't have to pay taxes anymore. But hey, I digress. Yeah. So we've gotten through just about all of the about you. I want to share this last, let's say 10, 15 minutes or so, talking about today's market. We always want to bring something of current value to the equation for our listeners out there. And right now, I am still seeing grumbling of the market slow, still seeing realtors and lenders getting out of the business silently. In essence, they are portraying that they're a lender, but they're really working over here right now. Mm-hmm. We're seeing and hearing of all of the people from California, New York, even Florida right now are coming to Texas because of one reason or another. And for me, I remain optimistic. I shift with the market. Kind of like how we were talking about, if first-time home buyers are a little reluctant to move forward on purchasing, okay, then I'm going to focus on the ones that want to be focused on, which essentially is going to be those investors. Is that a MacBook?
This is an iPad.
Airdrop it to me. I'll throw it up on the screen.
All right.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm going to airdrop this to you right now.
Let me make sure I can do airdrop everyone. Boom.
Mark's Mac.
Boom, got it. Save. JC, if you want to pull up the references, we've got this coming on the screen. Pulling the trigger. Get rid of that. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Bang.
Okay.
All right, what am I looking at here, Rory?
All right, so we're looking at current inventory of homes in the San Antonio market.
Okay.
Okay. And this goes back just to prior to COVID.
Okay.
So
and we want to look at the chart.
Yeah, that was right about there.
Okay.
Right
very good.
There. So 2021, 2022, we see inventory is under 6,000, right about 5,000.
Yep.
And prior to COVID, to that 2020, we're at about 10,000 homes on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to COVID, we had 10,000 homes on the market. During COVID, we had half the inventory, which led to prices skyrocketing, right?
Yeah.
Supply demand.
Amen.
And then if we go to the far right of that, 2025, we go to today, we're sitting at about 15,000, getting closer to 16,000. So right now, we have 50% more homes on the market than we did prior to COVID.
Yep.
Yeah. So why are buyers not coming out of the woodworks and snagging up these deals? It's because affordability.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm gonna do twofold. Affordability is the MO, is the initial shock of 2 years ago, I could buy this house, but now I can't. Why? Interest rates, this, that, insurance, all of the factors.
Yeah.
The second piece to that is the mindset, the idea of looking at the right now versus the big picture of it. So fear, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we're in an interesting market, right? Because typically when inventory rises, prices come down.
Correct.
And buyers level out.
That's right.
the supply.
Yep.
Affordability, the higher interest rates.
Yeah.
It's we're seeing less buyers enter the market.
Mhm.
You know what? Mortgage applications
Absolutely.
are down nationwide, not just here in San Antonio,
That's right.
nationwide. And inventory is rising, right? So at some point there has to be a pressure point
Right.
where
Prices start to drop.
we're
But when?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we
Well,
haven't seen it. And when I say haven't seen it, I don't want people to get the impression that homes are not being listed lower than what they were, because they are. But were we too high, incorrect expectations in 2020, 2021, overinflated? 2020, 2021 screwed this market up quite a bit because those interest rates were down for too long. And it gave not only false impression of what the idea of owning a home is, but also the idea of I can buy a house and sell it 2 years later and make all this money.
Yeah.
That wasn't the intent of buying real estate initially, guys.
I had people selling a house a year later with tons of equity.
Yeah,
And that's not that's not a healthy market.
that's correct.
That's not a healthy market.
I agree 100% with that. So that being said, given the climate of our industry being so many listings, and I don't think that they're going to stop, it's going to continue to increase. And I feel as though we may still hit a recession here in the coming months, which to me, I hate to say it, but it's probably necessary to kind of correct things from where we inflated and overinflated, injected all this capital, and all. I can keep going on, but go for it.
There's four things that make a house payment:
Okay.
principal, interest, insurance, and taxes.
That's right.
Right. So going back to 2008,
Mhm.
if values go down, I win,
That's right.
right? Because I'm not going to sell.
Mhm.
I'm going to sell in 30 years.
You're going to pay less taxes.
I'm going to pay less taxes, right?
Right.
So I may pay more in interest, right? But I'm going to pay less in taxes.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. Like
Mhm.
I see a winning situation. They like no matter which way that chart moves, I win.
That's right.
And I win because I'm not going to sell.
And that in itself is a pretty powerful statement for people out there to digest, because some are going, well, some similar to stock market.
Yeah,
You
correct.
saw it happen recently where the stock market tanked. Why? Well, it only tanks because people start selling out.
Correct. So and going back to, when do you buy real estate?
Mhm.
You buy real estate as long as you're not going to sell within the next year.
That's right.
So if you're going to be in this long enough, if you're going to be in this longer than a year,
Mhm.
I don't care what the inventory is. I don't care what the rates are. I don't care what the payment is. There's going to be adjustments, right? Rates may come down. They may not come down, or inventory may come up or down, or prices may be adjusted, or whatever the case is. But no matter what happens, you recognize the opportunity and you capitalize on it.
Amen.
And whether that opportunity is you're paying less taxes,
Yeah.
or whether that opportunity is you get a lower interest rate, or whatever that opportunity is, you recognize it and you capitalize on it.
Amen to that. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Rory, this has been a great discussion. I've gotten to learn quite a bit that I did not know about you before.
Thanks, man.
And I'm
And
impressed. I was impressed even prior to us jumping on these mics. But now it's like, okay, I understand this guy. It's good shit.
Thank you.
Now, to cap off this discussion, is there anything out there, being that you have plenty of experience, not only entrepreneurship, putting your money where your mouth is, essentially investing in yourself, taking that risk over and over, even after going through divorce and taking half, becoming a broker? I'm sure there's plenty of trials and tribulations that you've gone through with that. With all the experience that you have absorbed thus far, what is some advice that you would give to a realtor out there? Because let's face it, there's only 1% that is 1%, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The rest are trying to figure it out. And some get discouraged and get out. And some jump on key factors and they listen to what Rory has to say and they go, you know what? Let's fucking go.
So for me, what's been extremely impactful for me is being around people like you, right? So before we started this podcast, I asked you like about your businesses and things like that, and it's I call it a paradigm shift,
Okay.
right? Where I once had somebody say, if you want to destroy somebody's vision, give them 2.
Ooh.
Right? That's very disempowering.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's very disempowering. So if you had that belief system, you wouldn't have your podcast, you wouldn't have your mortgage business, you wouldn't have the business setup that you have in your life if you genuinely, truly believe that was true.
Right.
So hanging around people like yourself that are successful, that have multiple businesses, that are growing, that are thriving, that despite the economy, that despite the mortgage applications, despite the interest rates, despite this, that, and the other, you're progressing, you're thriving, you're growing, and you're adapting,
Right.
you're learning, right? Like learning how to set up this podcast and get it out there. And,
What a pain in the ass that was, right, JC?
And making
A
those,
fun pain in the ass, that's for sure.
Amen to that.
It's been a trip.
making the phone calls, setting up the appointments, getting it done, and just being fearless and embarking on it, right?
Right.
Despite the criticism, despite
Absolutely.
the negative, despite it all, just
That's right.
just making it fucking happen, dude.
Yeah.
And hanging around people that are on that wavelength.
Yeah.
That is what is going to give you the right mindset. That's what's going to give you the right perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to allow you to make the right decisions. I heard the other day, every decision is made twice. Before decision is made in real life, it's made in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so true.
It is.
Because everything that I've practiced in life, I've told myself in my mind that I'm going to do it before I do it.
That's right. That's exactly right. Making a conscious decision that I'm going to do this. And despite the noise, I'm going to make it through to the other side, however difficult it's going to be. And I think the message there is find a way.
Yeah.
And you bring up something that I can share. This idea of being around not necessarily always like-minded individuals, because sometimes it's good to be around people that think totally different than you, but at least have the same mindset of continuing to learn.
Correct.
Being open to seeing new views.
So different mindset, but empowering mindset.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's a better way of saying
it. And recently, and it's very cool that I get to share things like this, because throughout my whole professional career, I've experienced the level up effect, and it was both from the mindset, the work ethic, etc. But it was also getting in different rooms that I never thought I would be in before, that when in that instance, I didn't have any fear to ask the question that others would maybe shut up and sit in the room. Recently, when launching Loanbot, that was another experience for me. I had never been a CEO of a tech company out in the forefront, launching to 200 loan officers and having others that have already done something similar come up to us and, hey, let's talk. Let's see what this looks like if we put our brains together. Let's see. And it was just like, man, this getting into new rooms doesn't stop unless you do.
Yeah.
And that rings home to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rory, this has been freaking awesome. I appreciate this discussion. I appreciate you being so transparent with myself and our listeners. Is there anything else you would like to tell our people out there?
No. I want to thank you guys for having me out here, and I feel bad we didn't talk more about you and your business, man.
Hey, man, I'm an open book. We'll do that over beers and shooting guns.
Okay. Sounds good.
Deal?
1,000 yards.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
But you got to wait for it a while. That's awesome. Ladies, gentlemen, and those out there, I do want to thank you guys for continuing to listen, watch the show, make sure to like, subscribe, because again, my promise to you, and more so than ever, is to continue to bring guests that will be transparent, that don't just talk the talk, but they walk the walk. They've been through it and are open and willing to share those ideals and their struggles and wins with you guys. And why is that? Because for us, it isn't lonely at the top, as they say. So we'd like to see more rise with us, as they say. When the tide comes in, it lifts all the ships. So essentially, be that rising tide in your community, in your spheres, in your life. And hopefully you find some value in this episode. And if you do, make sure to like, subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next one. If you're still sending out pre-approval letters and praying your realtor send you the next lead, you're already behind.
Top producers are winning because they're giving their agents more than just rate sheets and donuts. They're giving them Loanbot. With Loanbot, you can offer realtors a white-labeled, co-branded digital mortgage tool that they send straight to their buyers. It's like giving them a mini loan officer in their pocket. Available 24/7, fully loaded, and branded with your name and their trust. Buyers can self-diagnose, compare loan programs, check real numbers, search properties, and explore down payment assistance without blowing you up at 10 p.m. And the best part? You see everything. Every scenario, every lead, every milestone. You're looped in the whole way. Loanbot isn't a widget. It's the referral machine you've been waiting for. Here's the deal. Your realtors can get it from us directly for $9.99 a month. But it'd be in your best interest if they got it from you. Either way, they're going to get it. White-labeled, co-branded, transparent, and more.
Sign up for your demo with our team of innovators.